Hello, welcome back again. Today we are going to be talking all about the bar at your wedding day, the drinks, what you need to provide, the do's and the don'ts, the traditions, the things that are expected, the things that are not, and just generally help you out with all things alcohol and drinks related. Today's topic is my most discussed video over on all my social media platforms. Everyone asks questions about the bar, and whenever I talk about the bar, it seems to start up a conversation about what you should and shouldn't do. And also remember, if you are looking for more help and advice and more kind of closer support, then my new online membership has now launched. It's only $5.99 a month, and there's already an amazing group of people in there. We're going live this Friday, so if you are watching this live, make sure that you head on over and have a little look, and I cannot wait to see more of you over there. But for now, if we haven't met before, my name is Beth and I'm a professional wedding planner here in the UK, and this channel is my little wedding world where each week I get to give you hints, tips, secrets and stories into the wedding industry to make sure that your wedding planning journey is that little bit easier and way less stressful. So let's get straight on with this video, all the wedding kind of stuff around bars and alcohol, and hopefully this really helps you with so many decisions that you've got to make around it. So I thought I'd start by kind of going through the most common options that there are for wedding bars. So the one that a lot of you will be dealing with is your venue already has a bar. It's really straightforward. They stock it, they staff it, and they do everything for you, and they've likely got a drinks package that you can then choose package A, package B, something like that, and they will do all the work for you and you don't have to think about it any further. The next most common option is that your venue does have a bar, but they also operate on a corkage system, and I'll explain what that is in a moment if you've not heard of corkage before. But this is where you'll be allowed to bring in your own drinks, and be really careful. If there's a corkage charge, you'll want to ask the question, how involved are they with the drinks? Are they going to serve it, store it? Are they going to provide the glasses with it, the garnishes, the ice, all those little bits that go into your drinks? So you'll definitely want to be asking those questions. Some venues will actually let you bring your own alcohol in, but they won't even charge a corkage charge, and definitely ask the questions there, because there may be no other service and it may be totally up to you to bring in those drinks, buy the glasses in, serve them, put them out, all those little bits. So it's definitely worth asking those questions first. A third really common option is that your venue doesn't actually have their own bar, so you have to go and find your own bar company. This is relatively straightforward. You find a company, you employ them, and they do a lot of the work around that. They'll even go and apply for your alcohol license if that's something that they've got to do. Often with bar companies, you can also provide your own drinks as well, but there may be a little cut-off period. So they'll want you to serve those drinks in the day, and then when they stop, they will then open the bar. You'll just want to check what the setup is. And equally, if you're bringing your own drinks, will they offer to give you anything? Will they give you glasses? Will they give you help? Will they clear up for you? Is there an extra cost associated with this? Ask all those questions and make sure you know where they will actually help you out. And the last really common option that I see is that no one is providing anything and you choose to DIY your own bar and provide everything. Now, this is great and it is so popular at the moment, especially with marquees, barns, things like that that are fully blank canvas venues. But there is an awful lot of work that goes into this, so make sure you know what you're getting into before you sign up to it. You'll need to provide the bar, you'll need to provide all the drinks, where you get them from, how you store them, how you transport them there. There's a lot of things you want to think about. You'll need to think about how you chill drinks, how you get ice there, how it gets set up, when you have actually time to set it up and get in there and do it all, who's going to help you get it all there, and even down to who's going to staff it, clear up, put the glasses away, where are the glasses even going to come from? I think you get me, there's quite a lot of things to think about when it comes to DIY bar. So there's kind of 4 different ways that I often see bars being set up. There are probably other ways as well, and drop me a comment down below if you've got some other ideas. But amongst all these kind of different types of bars that you can have, there's also the option to pay for all the drinks or have the guests pay themselves as well. Even when it comes down to a DIY bar, you could choose to ask your guests for donations towards each drink, because technically you're not allowed to sell if you are doing a DIY bar and don't have a alcohol license, but there may be a way of doing donations to help you towards the cost, or do you just let your guests help themselves and enjoy the drinks that you bought for them? So I mentioned the word corkage a while ago, and I'm not sure if anyone knows the term or everyone does know the term. It's something that is said an awful lot in the wedding industry, and I do get questions about it. So if you're wondering, corkage is the cost you pay to bring in your own alcohol to a venue. Some venues won't charge anything and just let you bring it in, but may call it a handling or a wastage charge. In other words, if you don't require any of their services to do anything, they won't charge you, and if you decide to take all your bottles away with you at the end, there won't be a wastage charge applied. That tends to be more in DIY venues. For more kind of your hotel, formal weddings, or if they've got their own bar, it will usually be called a corkage charge. Now, this can vary. It could be nothing, as I mentioned, it could be £20 per bottle. It totally depends on where you're based in the country and what the venue set. So it's definitely worth, when you're booking your venue, if there is a corkage charge involved, you find out what it is so you know what it is from the start. It's a really common thing to do and something I see all the times in venues, but often it's not a term people have come across. So I thought I'd drop it in today just to make sure you know what the words are, you know what to expect, and when a venue uses it and asks you about corkage, you know exactly what it is. When it comes to traditions surrounding alcohol, there seems to be a lot of points of view on this and people saying what you should and shouldn't do. And often it's with the older generation, it was very much expected that you had a free bar on your wedding day, you as the couple or the parents paid for that bar and your guests got to enjoy it. The full bar would be paid for all day, along with the reception drinks, the welcome drinks as you arrive back after the ceremony, also the wine on the tables and the toast glasses that you toast with the speeches. That is not the case anymore, and that tradition is 100% gone. It is no longer expected that you have to do anything when it comes to alcohol. I have done 300 plus weddings, and I could probably count on my fingers how many weddings I've done where there's been a totally free bar and everything has been paid for throughout the day. So if you're worried about that, I wanted to drop this in and make sure that you know you do not have to do this, and it's completely up to you what you choose to provide and what you choose to ask your guests to pay for. Moving on from that though, after I say that it's not expected, most couples then turn to me and say, well, what is the most common way of doing things, as everyone wants to kind of benchmark to see what other people are doing. It is no longer expected to pay for that bar purely because it gets so expensive and there are just so many things that you now need to pay for a wedding. So that is one thing you really don't have to worry about. Some people will choose to put a limit behind the bar, so this could be £500, £1,000, £2,000 depending on what you want, but that bit is not expected and it's less often that I see that happen. If I was working with you and you asked my opinion, I would usually suggest that you do some sort of reception or welcome drinks. It's the first point in the day when the guests are coming into your wedding and it's really nice to be able to hand them a glass of something. Now this was always traditionally a champagne, prosecco, something like that, but it absolutely doesn't have to be, and I'm going to go into a few ideas in a minute. I think it's a really nice point in the day to provide drinks, and it's the point in the day where it's really most kind of valued and wanted. It avoids that bottleneck at the bar. Everyone has just suddenly left the ceremony room and everyone would then head straight to the bar if there wasn't anything else provided, and their first thing on your wedding day is going to be standing there and queuing. Whereas if there's a lovely table already set out with loads of drinks, it can be really inviting and welcoming to go in there. Now it's totally up to you what you choose to provide at that point, whether it be one glass of something or two glasses of something or two bottles of something if you're doing beers at that point. That is your decision. Quite often I say to go for 2 glasses per guest, just because there'll be the odd few people that get there early and have an extra glass, and then it may not be that you've got enough left for everyone else. So that's just my recommendation on that one. The next most common drinks that I see supplied on a wedding day are wines on each table with the wedding food. Now this is something that is going a little bit more out of fashion in the last few years, and if you are looking to save money, I would say it's something that you do not need to worry about. I see so much wine left on tables and it gets wasted, so if you want to skip that part, that is absolutely fine, and I see loads of people doing that. However, saying that, there are benefits to having wine on the table. Again, it's all about that bottlenecking, I can't even say the word, at the bar. So as you invite everyone in for the food portion of the day, if there's wine on the table, they'll sit down and start having drinks and chatting amongst themselves. If there aren't any drinks at the table, people then head to the bar, and it can get really, really busy and take an awful long time to sit everyone. So that is something you maybe want to consider. A lot of people say that they're going to be providing drinks tokens for people to go and get their own drink at the bar so they can have a drink that they enjoy. Again, that causes that rush to the bar, so if you are looking to avoid it, maybe just one red and one white on each table is enough to keep people seated, and you won't see too much wastage from that. And the last area that I see a lot of people providing a drink at is during the toasts, and this comes when the speeches are going on and people raise a glass to toast each speech. A lot of people at this point was traditional to provide champagne. That kind of moved over to Prosecco because a lot of people prefer Prosecco, but nowadays a lot of brides and grooms and couples are just choosing to toast with whatever glass you have with you at the table at that time, whether that be water or a pint of beer that you've just bought. So that is also another area that you may wish to forego and is not an issue, and I see a lot of people doing. So that was kind of a traditional breakdown of the drinks that I see being provided, but what you actually serve is completely up to you, and people are getting so much more creative and exciting with what they choose to provide. This is everything from wheelbarrows of beer, gin bars, Prosecco bars where you can make your own drinks, maybe signature cocktails for the couple. I have seen shots served as the drinks and the speeches section of the day, or beautiful display tables with bigger decanters full of mocktails and different lemonades, soft drinks if that's more your thing. It is totally up to you, and you should really provide drinks that you know you love on your wedding day, not what you're told to do at weddings or what people expect of you. Pinterest has so many amazing ideas, so if you haven't got over there yet or had a little nose, I suggest you look on over there, and they will give you so many more ideas if you can't work out what you want to have. When it comes to setting up the bar though, if you are providing your own drinks either on a CORKAGE system sort of setup or you're providing your own DIY bar, there is a huge list of things you need to be thinking about, you need to be asking questions about, and you definitely need to consider. Number one, what help you're going to get on the day. Are there going to be staff there provided by the venue to serve your drinks if they're coming in on CORKAGE and run the bar at the venue on the day? Equally, if you're DIYing your bar, I cannot stress enough how important it is to hire staff on the day. I know it may seem like an extra cost, that may seem like you're adding onto your budget, but it is worth its weight in gold. You can ask family and friends to do it, but guaranteed they'll all get distracted and your bar will look a mess. There'll be drinks everywhere, glasses that aren't being collected, sticky bars, all that sort of thing. So you definitely want a couple of people just to man it and make sure it's kept tidy. Number two, make sure you check when you're going to be delivering all the items and when you can set up, especially if you're doing the full DIY bar. There's a lot of alcohol and a lot of stock that you're going to need to bring in, and give yourself time to do this. Work out how long you think it's going to take and then add a few extra hours on, because it always takes longer than you think. Number three, where are you going to buy it all from? It's great to keep an eye on the deals and give yourself plenty of time to buy all the alcohol. Again, if you're doing that DIY bar, you've got an awful lot of options that you need to find. I would always suggest that you look at deals coming up in the supermarkets. Around Christmas, you always get great deals on spirits and bottles of wine, so it definitely can be worth biding your time and waiting until those deals come out. Four, you're going to need to decide where you're going to store all that alcohol, and I mean before you get to your wedding venue. If you've got loads of alcohol to store, you need a room or somewhere in your house that you can put it, as it will take up a lot of room and it will drive you insane if it's in the middle of your kitchen and you're trying to climb over it every time you move. Number five, look at transportation, how you are going to get that alcohol and all the drinks from where you are storing them to your wedding venue. Are you going to need a little bit of help from your friends, some extra cars, or is it easier to hire a van? Definitely look at that. And once you get there, where is the venue going to store it? Do they have fridges that you have access to where you can put it in? Don't always rely on the fact that the caterer will have fridges there and you can put it in the catering fridges. They're often absolutely full to the brim with all the food and everything like that, and you won't be able to store in there. So as you're catering, if there's anything available, ask your venue, and if not, you may need to look at hiring in an extra fridge trailer. And lastly, you need to have a think about all the little bits that go around drinks as well. Have you got glasses? Are you going to need to hire them in? Often there's companies that are local that you can hire this service in from. Always get extras, because no one will keep one glass all day, and they'll often then return them dirty, so you don't even have to wash them up. And the other little items to definitely think about are ice and where you're going to store that, and also any garnishes you might need for your drinks. In my opinion, there is an awful lot to think about when it comes to a bar, and you will have an awful lot of opinions telling you what to do and what they think is expected of you. But you as a couple have got to go with your gut and do exactly what you want and what your budget allows you to do as well. Don't feel like you've got to serve alcohol if the two of you don't drink. If you hate champagne and Prosecco, don't serve it to toast your new marriage with. Don't stress yourself out about it. Your guests are there for you and they love you and want to spend the day with you. It's not all about the alcohol, it's not all about the drinks, and everyone will be happy with exactly what you're able to provide. I really hope you found this beneficial. There are so many points to bring into that, and I could probably talk for another hour on this subject, but I hope it's really given you a good insight. If you've got any ideas you want to share with everyone else, pop it in the comments below, and if you've enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, and also if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe. Anyway, I will leave it there for now, and I will see you very soon next week with a new video. Have a nice week. Bye.